Check, 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 1, 2, 1, 2. From Lately Field in the capital city of Charleston, West Virginia, it is state championship Saturday here for West Virginia High School lacrosse. 4 state championships on tap today, and we welcome you to the first of 4. It's the Division II Girls Lacrosse State Championship featuring the number 3 ranked St. Albans Red Dragons and the number 1 ranked Jefferson County Wild. St. Albans comes in with a record of 5-5. They earned the number 3 ranking in the Division II postseason. Their first round matchup was supposed to be against the defending state champion John Marshall Monarchs. John Marshall forfeited that game. St. Albans automatically advanced to the semifinals, where they had to take on the defending state runner-ups in Musselman, who were ranked number 2. St. Albans went up to the Eastern Panhandle and upset the Applemen 10-9 to punch their ticket to the state championship. Jefferson County, on the other hand, earned the top seed in the Division II girls lacrosse bracket. They got a bye in the first round and played number 4 Wheeling Park in the state semifinals, where they dominated the Patriots 16-0 to punch their ticket to the state championship. These two teams met back on April 24th, and that was a wild game that the Wild won by just 1 goal. 10-9 was the final score, and Jefferson County pulled off the win there. It's a rematch of that game, and if the girls' state championships from over the past couple years signal anything, it's that this game could be a crazy one. We're in for a good one, and we've got starting lineups coming up right after this on Video Productions.
University of Charleston Stadium at Lately Field for the 2026 Wvsla Girls Lacrosse Championship game for Division II. Today's championship game features the Red Dragons from St. Albans High School and the Wild from Jefferson County. First, let's meet the visiting team on the scoreboard, the number 4 seeded St. Albans Red Dragons, who come into today's championship with a record of 5 wins and 5 losses. At freshman, number 20, Gabriela Scarcella. And now for the starting lineup for the Red Dragons. At attack, a senior, number 2, Abby Moss. At midfield, a senior, number 3, Kendall Miller. At attack, a senior, number 7, Diana Kay. At defense, a sophomore, number 9, Kylie Moore. At defense, a freshman, number 12, Heidi Williams. At midfield and defense, a senior, number 13, Sophie Lawson. At attack and defense, a sophomore, number 14, Charlotte Lawson. At defense, a sophomore, number 15, Peyton Marion. At midfield and attack, a junior, number 17, Sawyer Burdett. At attack, a freshman, number 19, Bailey Schrader. At defense, a junior, number 21, Kendall Walls. And starting in the cage for the Red Dragons, a sophomore, number 31, Carrie Morse. The head coach for the Red Dragons is David Randolph. Assistant coach is Savannah Dolly. And now let's meet the home team on the scoreboard. The number 1 seeded Jefferson County Wild, who come into today's championship with a record of 7 wins and 4 losses. A junior, number 5, Gianna Abrazino. A senior, number 7, Lucy Gilson. A freshman, number 8, Amelia Merkel Mason. A senior, number 11, Annika Schwartz. A senior, number 12, Alejandra Patterson. A sophomore, number 18, Camilla Montero. A senior, number 26, Cheyenne McCoy. And a freshman, number 75, Jenna Furbush. And now for the starting lineup for the Wild. At midfield and attack, a senior, number 2, Angela Sedlock. At attack and defense, a senior, number 4, Kenzie Franz. At attack and midfield, a junior, number 6, Kaylee Goff. At midfield and attack, a sophomore, number 10, Carissa Richardson. At attack and midfield, a senior, number 13, Chandler Meyer. At attack and midfield, a sophomore, number 14, Catherine Selby. At defense and midfield, a senior, number 17, Chloe Parker. Attack in midfield is a senior, number 21, Reagan Bailey. At attack in midfield, a senior, number 22, Julia Lawson. At defense, a sophomore, number 41, Rochelle Helmus. At defense and attack, a junior, number 45, Daniela Miele. And in the cage for the Wild, a senior, number 88, Eliza Quinn. The head coach for Jefferson County is Serena Baird. Assistant coach, Sandy Noerline. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would ask that everyone in attendance please rise if you are able. Gentlemen, please remove your hats as we honor America and those who protect it with the playing of our national anthem. The officials for today's championship.
It's championship Saturday here in Charleston, West Virginia. St. Albans and Jefferson County getting ready for the first draw coming at 11 o'clock. We'll go through the starters in case you didn't hear it. St. Albans will be starting. They have 13 players on their team, and you start 12 players in lacrosse, so their starters are pretty much their entire roster. Abby Moss, Kendall Miller, Diana Kay, Kylie Moore, Heidi Williams, Sophie Lawson, Coco Lawson, Peyton Marion, Sawyer Burdett, Bailey Schrader, Kendall Walls, and in the goal will be Carrie Morse. For Jefferson County, they are starting Angela Sedlock, Kenzie Franz, Kaylee Goff, Carissa Richardson, Chandler Mayer, Catherine Selby, Chloe Parker, Reagan Bailey, Julia Lassen, Rochelle Helmus, Daniela Melee, and in the goal for the Wild will be Eliza Quinn. We'll highlight a couple of the stars for either of these two teams, and you look at the stat sheet, especially for St. Albans, there is one player in particular that sticks out, and that is number 3, Kendall Miller. Keep an eye on her all game long. She averages over 4 goals per game, has the majority of St. Albans goals on the season. For Jefferson County, their leading scorer is Reagan Bailey, who averages 2 goals per game, 22 goals on the season, but they spread it around a little more. Richardson and Franz close behind, all over a goal per game. Again, these two teams met back on April 24th. Jefferson County won that game 10-9. In the past 2 years in the Division II Girls Lacrosse State Championship, it's been decided by just one goal. Last year, John Marshall beat Musselman 8-7. A late goal lifted the Monarchs in a comeback win over the Applemen. 2 years ago was Hedgesville's game-winning goal in overtime in a wild comeback over Martinsburg. Getting ready for first draw right at midfield. St. Albans and Jefferson County, the state championship, we're underway, and the ball rolling into St. Albans territory, and it's picked up by Sophie Lawson. She turns around and takes it back the other way, crosses into wild territory, stops and spins at the 45, and now lobs it down the field for Burdette. Burdette, the second leading scorer for St. Albans, behind Miller, and she controls, working it around the 12-meter fan, now down to the goal line. Schrader works it behind the goal and controlled by Kay. Kay comes up, cut off by Melee, looking for a place to go for it, standing in the end zone. Tight defense as Kay works it around the fan, and coming way out to the 25 is Burdette. Now Kendall Miller has it. Dangerous score, and Miller looks to drive in, stops right outside the 8-meter fan. She drives in again. Jefferson County wary of Miller as they threaten to bring the double team as she drove right there. She pulls back out and now takes it down into the end zone. Miller will set up the offense from behind the goal. Eliza Quinn, the goalie, faces her. Not a lot of movement. Here comes a cutter. Doesn't get the pass. That was Moss, looked inside, and St. Albans trying to find a way to go. Here's an open cut. Pass gets away, and there is a chance for a score there if Burdette was able to hang on to it. Ball rolling around, and Jefferson County's Kaylee Goff picks it up, takes back off the other way. Ball gets free, rolls down into St. Albans territory, right at the 30-yard line, still loose. Worked inside the 20. And it's going to go back to St. Albans. So waiting for the whistle as Selby has to start behind, and St. Albans 90 yards away from the goal. And here we go. Red Dragons back on offense and sprinting down the field. Taking it into Jefferson County territory is Peyton Marion, and Marion stops and lobs it up ahead. Pass on the ground intended for Lawson. And we're going to get a whistle. It's going to stay with St. Albans. So here we go. Inside. Here's the first shot, and it bounces wide of the mark. Now to the back of the end zone. St. Albans is the first back there. They get it back. It's Schrader who will bring it in the end zone. They work it around, looking for the cutter. That was Miller who came in. Kay looks to set it up. Moss cuts, no pass, and now they work it around to Kendall Miller. Miller lobs it inside. Pass gets away. Another good opportunity if that was caught, but Moss tracks it down, and Moss will get it and circle all the way back around, back outside the 20. Moss ahead for Burdette. Burdette spins, working in the critical scoring area, now steps back out and finds Miller. Miller looks for the shot, and it's deflected, jammed away by Eliza Quinn. Tough angle for Miller, but she gets the rebound and circles back around the goal. Here's Miller, shoots and scores! Kendall Miller puts St. Albans on the board first. So Kendall Miller does it all herself. They're looking to set up the offense there first. trying to run cuts, and then they just get it to their best scorer, Miller, and she goes to work and puts the Red Dragons up 1-0.
At the St. Albans goal, scored by number 3, Kendall Miller.
Remember, Miller averaging over 4 goals per game, and that's her first already. We've seen some great performances in state championships over the years.
Goal of the season. Time of the goal, 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Ball in the air. Draw is going to be controlled by the Wild. That is Richardson. And Richardson takes into St. Albans territory. The Red Dragons dominated time of possession. Jefferson only had it down on this end for a few seconds early, and it was turned over immediately. And now, again, same song, second verse. Jefferson County gets it down in St. Albans territory, down on that far end, and they turn it over just as soon as they get it. When you have two close competitive teams like this, time of possession usually will indicate who's going to come away victorious, and right now it's been all St. Albans with the ball as Heidi Williams brings it across midfield into Jefferson County territory, down the field. It's caught by Schrader. They look to swing it. Controlled by Lawson. That's Coco Lawson. Lawson works it around the fan, down into the end zone. Inside, looking for Miller. It goes over her head and rolls back all the way near the 30-yard line, but it's going to be tracked down by Schrader. St. Albans has cut towards the goal very well so far, and there's another one that gets away. Just having trouble controlling it on those cuts, but it's going to be scooped up, and a shot at the goal is going to go wide and roll into the end zone. Schrader's going to track it down and pick it up in the far corner. Schrader charging at the goal, now stops and will look to reset. Comes over to Miller, has the lone goal so far. Miller drives in, Miller shoots, and she scores again. Second goal of the day for Kendall Miller. And this is just Miller doing it all herself again. She gets it outside of the 8-meter fan, drives in, splits a double team, and then that leaves her one-on-one with Eliza Quinn, the goalie for Jefferson County. And the Wild are going to take a timeout to talk it over. Anytime you leave Kendall Miller one-on-one with the goalie, you've got to hold your breath. Dangerous score, and that's her second already. Timeout called by Jefferson County. We'll step aside, be back after this with the Wvsla Lacrosse State Championships on video production.
Time of the goal, 5 minutes and 31 seconds.
This thing on? Oh, I thought they challenged this yet. Power to the people. Living in that 31st century. Futuristic flush. The penthouse system projects and everybody flies private. New watch shows time is. Watch us. They can't stop us. The profits be on. There's no one man to have all that power. The clock's ticking. I just count the hours. Stop tripping. I'm tripping off the power. Rumble, young man, rumble. Life's a trip, so sometimes we gon' stumble. You gotta go through pain in order to become you. But once the world knows you, you'll feel like it's only one you want. You now you got the power to do anything you want to. Until you ask yourself, is this what it's all come to? Looking at life through sunglasses in a temple. Until you have the power to get out from above the wonders. They all these labels, what everybody wants from you. They trying to act so rush. Welcome to the junction, to be continued. We on that Northern Never shit. In search of the truth, even if it goes through tell us what and tell us this. No one man to have all that power.
Welcome back to Wadley Field here in Charleston. St. Albans jumps out with the early lead over Jefferson County. 2-0 Red Dragons off of 2 goals by their leading scorer, Kendall Miller. And it's really been a dominating first half of the first quarter so far for the Red Dragons. Jefferson County hasn't had the ball really at all. down in St. Albans territory. Time of possession heavily dominated by the Red Dragons. Jefferson County just called a timeout, likely to talk it over and get their girls locked in. On the draw, they're going to redo it. Sawyer Burdette on the draw for St. Albans. Angela Sedlock on the draw for Jefferson County. Sedlock is going to head to the sideline to grab something, and they're going to switch out who's on the draw and put Carissa Richardson there for the Wild now.
Come on now. Delay of game warning has been issued to Jefferson
County gets a delay of game warning, so St. Albans is going to get the ball again. And this is right here where you can turn the game really all Red Dragons as Miller has it, and they work it down again into Wild territory. Driving in is Moss, and Moss is going to be forced around the crease, forced wide. And now she has it down on the goal line, looking for somewhere to go with it. So if you're Jefferson County, you have to pay a lot closer attention to Kendall Miller now as she cuts towards the goal. They don't get it to her. Defended there by Chloe Parker. Now they get it over to Miller. She's going to go to work. One-on-one with Parker. Miller goes around her, looks for the shot, and goes around the crease. Going to reset and flip it to her teammate Abby Moss. Moss down on the goal line. St. Albans slowing it down, not letting Jefferson sniff possession. And these long possessions both have resulted in goals so far for the Red Dragons. They can keep doing this. It's going to put Jefferson in a tight spot. In the end zone is Kay. Kay defended tightly by Goff. And Goff pokes at it. Ball's loose. Back of the end zone. Goff trying to steal it. Moss is there right on the end line. And it's out of bounds, and it is Jefferson County ball. A great play by Kaylee Goff to force the turnover and get it back for the Wild. And now let's see if Jefferson County can set something up. Goff takes off, trying to go coast to coast. Cut off there, loses the ball in the air, and Goff's going to get it back. Hit, and a quick restart. Miller was the one who hit her, has to start behind. And now up ahead it comes to Lassen. Lassen down the field. Caught and on the run. Here come the Wild. Good defense by St. Albans there to cut her off. Ball is loose. Who's going to pick it up? Moore is there for the Red Dragons fighting for it, but Franz comes away with it for the Wild. And now Jefferson County finally gets a chance to run their offense. Franz swings it over behind the goal. Looking for a lob over the goal is Lassen, and Lassen gets it over to Sedlock. Back to Lassen in the end zone, swung over to Franz. Cutting inside, here's a shot, here's a score. Jefferson County on the board. Reagan Bailey scores for the Wild. Take a look at the replay. You can see Bailey, number 21, cuts right past Kylie Moore. She didn't see her go, left her wide open. Jefferson County, one shot already, one score, and the Wild are on the board. That's a big goal
Jefferson County
right
goal
there,
scored by number 21,
especially when St. Albans had possession with a chance to go up 3-0. Great play by Kaylee Goff to force the turnover in the back of the end zone. Jefferson County, they get their offense, they get their score. And that's what St. Albans is afraid of, allowing the Wild to have a lot of time of possession. They've done a good job of denying that, as here's another draw control by St. Albans, caught out of the air by Sophie Lawson, and Lawson on the run inside the 30. Lawson gets it ahead to Burdette. Burdette all alone, and the shot deflected in the air, and a rebound attempt. And it is a score for Lawson. take a look at that replay. Actually, that was Burdette. And the ball bounced in the air and ended up behind the goalie, Eliza Quinn. An unorthodox goal, and it goes to Sawyer Burdette. And that puts St. Albans up 3-1. And if you're Eliza Quinn, that's just an unfortunate turn of events right there, because you get the jam deflected away and then it just ends up over your head and bounces into the goal. Red Dragons. Jefferson County controls this draw, trailing by 2, and Sedlock takes it into St. Albans territory around a screen from Lassen. St. Albans is extending this pressure, and this is something we haven't really seen from Jefferson County, is extended pressure. Now the Red Dragons bring a double team on Sedlock, and she walks it back. Tries to spin out of the double team, forced along the sideline. Now she swings it over to Richardson, and Richardson, she runs through the double team towards the goal, circles around the crease. Richardson looking for the pass. Cutting was Mayer, she doesn't get it. Now they get it inside to Selby, and Selby's gonna flip it back. Here's a shot on goal and a whistle. And a shooting space is gonna be called, which is going to set up an 8-meter free position for Reagan Bailey. Bailey scored the only goal so far for Jefferson County. She's got a chance to cut it back to a 1-goal game. The Wild's leading scorer. Reagan Bailey with the ball. Ready? Here she goes. The shot is good! And Bailey scores again for Jefferson County. Take a look at the replay, and this is just one step forward and shoot.
Jefferson County goal.
The long shot, and Morse jumped to the side, and it went right beside her. A sidebar goal, and the second score so far for Reagan Bailey, and the second player to get her second goal of the game. So back at midfield for the draw. 2 minutes, 7 seconds to play first quarter. St. Albans dominated the first half of the first quarter. Since then, Jefferson County, they've had 2 offensive possessions, which resulted in 2 goals, as the Wild now only trail the Red Dragons by 1. They cut it down to this with their first goal of the game. St. Albans scored within 30 seconds of the draw. St. Albans has been really good on the draws so far. This one is going to be caught out of the air by Julia Lassen, a great catch. And Jefferson County has another offensive possession. They've scored on all the ones they've had so far, but the ball gets away and is going to go out of bounds, turned over to the Red Dragons of St. Albans. So Kylie Moore will control for St. Albans. She'll have to work it to the other side of the field. Jefferson County now getting after her, trying to force a turnover in their own territory, and they could have got it there, but a foul and a quick restart as Kendall Miller will bring it up the field. Miller cut off. Here comes that double team on Miller. Jefferson County hasn't doubled the ball all game long. Now they're starting to get more aggressive on defense. And a pass controlled, racing down the field towards the goal. A shot and a score! What a shot and score there. Sophie Lawson for St. Albans. And again, the Red Dragons strike quickly. So you look at this, and that's the product of double teaming right there, is it takes another defender out of the picture on the rest of the offense, and it left Lawson open for the catch and the speed downhill towards the goal. And a great shot off balance as she tumbled to the ground and scores for St. Albans. And it's 4-2 Red Dragons with a minute to go in the first quarter.
Time of the goal, 10 minutes, 52 seconds.
Sophie Lawson came into the game averaging .9 goals per game. She got her one early, and St. Albans, again, opens up a 2-goal lead on Jefferson County. So the last draw was won by Jefferson. All the ones before that were won by St. Albans. The one Jefferson County won resulted in a turnover, which ultimately ended up in a goal the other way. Here we go, ball in the air, now on the ground, and there's going to be contact, and are we going to get a yellow card? Yes, yellow card called on Carissa Richardson, and she's going to head to the penalty box.
Penalty on Jefferson County, number 10, Carissa Richardson. 2 minutes for an illegal check to the head. Time of the penalty, 10 minutes, 56 seconds.
So an illegal check to the head on Carissa Richardson results in a 2-minute penalty.
2 minutes to Richardson for an illegal check to the head. Time of the
St.
goal.
Albans
Time
goes
of the
a woman up.
10:56.
And that's really important here because they get the ball with an extra player with 1 minute to go in the first quarter with the potential to open up a 3-goal lead as Miller drives in, cut off, forced wide. Now here's a pass inside, a great pass, and Quinn knocked it away. It's on the ground as Kay chases after it all the way back in the end zone. Kay's going to get it set up as the clock stops with 49.5 seconds to go. Alejandra Patterson will start behind her. St. Albans with a great opportunity to score again. Kay gets it swatted from behind. She hangs on to it. Gets it to Burdette, but it goes wide of her. Lawson tries to pick it up. It's loose. Kicked around. Rolling towards the sideline. A foot race after it. And it is going to go to St. Albans. Clock still running inside 30 seconds. The ball is going to be brought in by Sawyer Burdette. Only 20 seconds on the clock. St. Albans going to have to go quickly here. Burdette brings it in at the 25. Burdette looks downhill. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Burdette cut off. Great defense by Jefferson County. 3 seconds to go. And that is going to take us to the end, but a shot. Is it good? It is! Kendall Miller, a buzzer-beating goal to end the first quarter. And she got it in before the clock hit 0. And the Red Dragons take a 5-2 lead at the end of 1. Look at Miller. Sidebar again to the right of Quinn.
St. Albans goal scored.
And Miller already has a hat trick in the first quarter, and that got in just as the clock hit 0. It counts, and the Red Dragons are up 5-2 at the end of 1. We'll step aside. Second quarter of action coming up. After this, it's the Division II Girls Lacrosse State Championship right here on Video Production. Welcome back to Laidley Field here in Charleston, getting ready to start the second quarter of action. St. Albans, 5 goals in the first quarter. Remember, St. Albans ranked number 3, Jefferson County the favorite, ranked number 1. An impressive first quarter for the Red Dragons, and a hat trick already for their leading scorer, Kendall Miller. Remember, she averages 4.1 goals per game. She's already at 3. This is a St. Albans team that has improved throughout the season. You look at their regular season, they got blown out by Musselman early in their season, and then just played the Applemen earlier this week. And Musselman was ranked number 2. St. Albans came away with the 1-goal victory, 10-9 over the defending state runner-ups. And Jefferson County is a team that St. Albans has played earlier this year and lost to by 1 goal. And they jump out ahead of Jefferson County. Going to try to hold on. Second quarter underway. Ball in the air. They switch sides of the field. And it's still rolling on the ground. Going to be scooped up. And St. Albans again with offensive possession. Burdette all alone. The shot and a great save made. It came out of the stick for a second. And now it's going to be cleared out. Jefferson County switched goalies at the end of the quarter. Eliza Quinn started. Now Gianna Abrazino in the goal for the Wild. On the run is Coco Lawson at midfield. Picks it back up for the Red Dragons, and St. Albans back to work. Lawson works it down. Cutting is Moss. Moss couldn't make the catch, and it rolls into the stick of the goalie Abrazino. Almost turned it over on the pass, but it's going to be controlled by Sedlock, who lost it. And contact going to go back to St. Albans. Sophie Lawson has it inside the 30. Waiting for the signal to go. Here she goes. Lawson works left. Around the defense, a shot and a score from Sophie Lawson. Red Dragons go up 4.
Come on, Wild. Let's go. Let's go, Wild.
This is just a great play by Sophie Lawson. Watch Jefferson County's defense right here. They're going to come with the help, and she's just going to split the 2 defenders there. Create space, goes between Helmus and Sedlock, and it gets her an open shot.
Goal scored by number 13, Sophie Lawson. 2nd of the game, 9th of the season. Time of the goal, 1 minute, 11 seconds.
Lawson, who averaged 0.9 goals per game throughout the season, just scored her 2nd of the state championship to open up a 6-2 lead for St. Albans. This Jefferson County defense has had a hard time staying in front of the defenders, especially when it's just one-on-one. It's not coming off assists. When the ball's being taken solo downhill, Jefferson County's defense has not been able to stay in front of their matchup, and it's led to a lot of one-on-one opportunities that's so hard for the goalie to deny. And you look at the shots on goal for each team. St. Albans has 11. Jefferson County just has 2. So the Wild are 2 for 2, but St. Albans is putting the ball towards the net more. Richardson controls off the draw and sets up the offense for Jefferson County. And Richardson works it around and will swing it back over. Driving in is Selby, and Selby looks for the shot, and she gets it bounced wide. The great stand in the goal there for Carrie Morse. Jefferson County will have to reset. It's Kenzie Franz in the end zone, works around the goal. Defended by Walls. Franz looks for the cut and the pass, and almost intercepted, and it is taken away by Lawson. A great defensive play there. Read it like a book, but that's batted away. Another great defensive play, this time by Sedlock. Sedlock, open, shot, score! Sedlock got it to Reagan Bailey, and there's another hat trick as Bailey has her 3rd goal. So the great defensive play by Angela Sedlock and a great find to Reagan Bailey, and Bailey puts it in. She has all 3 goals so far for Jefferson County, and the Wild just not going away. Seems like St. Albans is just dominating this game through and through, but Jefferson County, any chance that they've had so far, they've capitalized on. And it's keeping them in the game. 6-3 St. Albans, 10:33 to go, 2nd quarter. Bailey came into the championship game averaging 2 goals per game on the season. She's got 3 already. For Jefferson County, there's no way they're going to be able to sustain this, score every chance you get, and still win the way St. Albans is putting the ball towards the net. And the Red Dragons control it here. It's Kendall Miller up ahead, and the pass almost intercepted, rolling on the ground, and a fight for it. Who's going to get it? Richardson after it, Miller after it, and it's going to go towards St. Albans. Empty stick check called on Jefferson County, and the Red Dragons get it. It's Miller. She's got a lane. Miller off the post, no good, and it bounces wide. Out of bounds, and it's going to go to Jefferson County. That was another open attempt for St. Albans at the goal as Miller split the defense. Had a one-on-one opportunity, but it hit the post. And Jefferson County gets it back. Here come the Wild. Here comes the double team. Up ahead, Sedlock. Jefferson County just trying to get it down on the end, which they have had success. They just haven't had the opportunities. But when they have, they've had a lot of success. 4 shots, 3 goals. All the goals coming from Reagan Bailey. It's controlled by Selby now, poked away by Marion, and Marion's gonna steal it, get the ground ball and a whistle. And it's gonna stay with Peyton Marion. Another great defensive play. St. Albans has been so aggressive defensively at coming after the ball and forcing turnovers and stealing possessions away. Marion runs it up the field, looks for the pass. It is gonna be caught and lost and turned over. Sedlock. That's a great ground ball right there. Just scoop it as it was on the way up. Richardson, she's got a lane. She lost the ball on the shot, tumbles to the ground, and a fight for it in the end zone. It's going to go to St. Albans. Richardson took a swipe there. That's going to be her 2nd yellow card.
Jefferson County penalty, number 10, Carissa Richardson, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty, 3 minutes, 25 seconds.
Slashing call there.
That's Richardson's 2nd card of the game. She is suspended for the remainder of the game.
And Richardson, as that is her 2nd yellow card, is done for the game. If she's out, and they're going to have to play without their leading scorers, one of their leading scorers, I should say, for the rest of the game. And here come the Red Dragons. Back with the ball. Right at midfield. It's controlled by Williams, and Williams slings it ahead over the head of Lawson. Going to be controlled now by Abby Moss. Moss forced outside by Gilson. Moss inside, and that one gets away from Kay. She was open in front of the goal, tries to push it towards the goal. Abrazino is going to get it. And a goal circle violation is going to be called on Jefferson, so Diana Kay is going to get it for St. Albans in the end zone. And this is where you can really set up a play, run a couple of screens, try to get someone cutting free going towards the goal. You see number 3, got to watch out for her. That's Miller out wide. Burdette cuts, doesn't get it. Now tries to get it inside. It's deflected in the air, and Abrazino is going to cover it in the crease and clear. And Jefferson County back with the ball, running through all the St. Albans defenders. Lobbed up ahead. That one is way over the head of Selby and out of bounds. Back to St. Albans. So the Red Dragons are going to get it back. And Sawyer Burdette will bring it in. Here we go. St. Albans back to work. Pass up ahead is going to be caught by Miller. Miller doubled immediately. Miller works right. And the speed of Kendall Miller. She drives towards the goal. Got to watch those shots from Miller at all angles. We've seen it earlier. She tried a really, really tough shot right on the side of the goal. She didn't shoot it there, looks for the cutter. Now gets it ahead. Moss, a shot. Moss scores for St. Albans. And it's 7-3. Red Dragons on top. And this is a great pass from Miller, a great catch from Abby Moss with the defender right in her face and right along the circle. Puts it past Abrazino and scores to give the Red Dragons a 4-goal lead. Abby Moss's first goal of the game. Kendall Miller with the assist there. He's got 3 goals and assists, 4 points.
Timeout.
St. Albans is going to call timeout. What an early start for the Red Dragons. 7 goals in the first quarter and a half. They lead by 4 over Jefferson County. You're watching the Wvsla Lacrosse State Championships here on Video Productions. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Laidley Field here in Charleston. St. Albans calls timeout with a 4-goal lead halfway through the second quarter. 7-3, Red Dragons scores for St. Albans. Kendall Miller scored the first and second goal. Sawyer Burdett with the third. Sophie Lawson scored the fourth. Miller again with the fifth. Lawson with the sixth. And Abby Moss scored the most recent goal for the Red Dragons. For Jefferson County, it's just been Reagan Bailey. She's got all 3 goals for the Wild. Jefferson County had another chance to talk it over, but these draws are just killing Jefferson County because St. Albans has been dominating them. Lob to Moss over her head, rolling fast towards the goal. A collision, a shot, and a score! Down on the end, it was Gabriella Scarcella who scored for St. Albans. It's 8-3 Red Dragons. And a great turn of events there. The ball was just rolling down toward the goal. It popped up in the air. Scarcella found it, shot it, and scored. And it's 8-3 Red Dragons.
Gabriella Scarcella, her first of the season. Time of the goal.
And what a time for Gabriella Scarcella to get her first goal of the season in the state championship to open up a 5-goal lead for the Red Dragons. So how about Gabriella Scarcella? Mentioned in the pregame, St. Albans has 13 players on their roster, which means all but one player starts. The lone player for St. Albans that didn't start this championship was Gabriella Scarcella, and she ends up getting a goal. Jefferson County wins the draw there, and now starting to close into desperation time as you're down 5 already and really have just been dominated so far. But this is a Jefferson County team. They're ranked #1 for a reason. Pass inside, going to be caught by Selby. Selby looks to drive inside and is going to be cut off by Kylie Moore, and she works past Moore. Selby finds Bailey, and now they work it to the end zone where Julia Lassen has it. Lassen looks, that's a tough catch, and a shot right off the catch is melee, but it doesn't go towards the net. I tell you what, but that's a great job by Daniela Maley to not let that get away and get that shot off as Jefferson County maintains possession. Bailey scores! Her 4th goal of the game. She's got all 4 for the Wild. And it's back to a 4-goal game. Reagan Bailey. This has really been the only thing St. Albans has struggled with, and that's Reagan Bailey. Everything else they've done good.
Jefferson County goal scored by number 21.
Got their leading scorer with the ball towards the net. And that is a tough shot by Bailey that she's able to put in.
26th of the season. Time of the goal, 6 minutes, 48
Jefferson
seconds.
County can get back in this game. And it all starts on the draws because when they have possession, they've had success. 7 shots, 4 goals. Problem is they just haven't had a lot of time in possession. You look at the other side, St. Albans, they have 14 shots. So twice as many shots for the Red Dragons, twice as many goals. And that all comes off of the draws.
Concession stands are now available on the south side of the bleachers.
And this time Jefferson County has a golden opportunity to get it, but it gets away, and Coco Lawson chases after it and controls it. Gets it over to Sophie Lawson. And now St. Albans into Jefferson County territory. Lawson, a shot, she scores! Sophie Lawson, that's a hat trick for her. Put it over Abrazino, and it's 9-4 St. Albans. And again, Jefferson County's defense just not covering the ball handler. And you can see she goes right through the defense. Help comes late, top shelf goal, and Lawson has her 3rd of the game.
St. Albans goal scored by number 13, Sophie Lawson. Her 3rd of the game.
Every time Jefferson County threatens to get back in the game, St. Albans takes that momentum right away.
7 minutes, 6 seconds.
The 3rd player in this game to have a hat trick. 2nd for St. Albans. Kendall Miller has 3 goals. Sophie Lawson has 3 for St. Albans. And then for Jefferson County, Reagan Bailey has all 4. Draw at midfield, ball is in the air, deflected down by Lassen and chased after and controlled. On the run is Burdette. Burdette on the stop, swings it over, pass gets away from Schrader, and a turnover. Jefferson County gets it back. Lost the ball, but a whistle, and we're going to get a yellow card. And it's going to be called on Abby Moss as she heads to the penalty box.
St. Albans penalty, the number 2, Abby Moss. 2 minutes for an illegal check to the head. Time of the penalty, 7 minutes, 26 seconds. St. Albans penalty to Moss for a check to the head at 7:27.
Penalty on Abby Moss for check to the head. Results in a 2-minute penalty on her. She comes out of the game into the penalty box, and Jefferson County will take off. Here we go. Racing up the field, now cut off by a double team. It's Chloe Parker. Parker gets it ahead to Melee. Trying to get the ground ball. She does. Now it's loose. And it is out of bounds, which results in a turnover. St. Albans gets it back. Here we go. Sawyer Burdette. Here comes the triple team. They all come after her. Burdette tries to run out of it. Now defended and gets it up ahead to Schrader. Schrader gets hit from behind. She's going to have a quick restart here from the 20. Here goes Schrader towards the goal. Schrader in the critical scoring area looking for the shot. Instead passes it into the end zone. Oh, that's right on the end line, and it's going to go out of bounds as Scarcella couldn't stay in. Jefferson County gets it. The pass deflected and turned right back over to St. Albans. Driving in is Schrader. Schrader bounces it towards the goal, and it's off the post, no good. Scarcella chases after it. She ends up on the ground. Schrader after it, and Schrader finds it. And we'll reset. St. Albans has done a great job on the ground balls and forcing turnovers. Kay circles around the crease and gets turned back around immediately. Works to the other side. And a push is going to be called.
3 seconds, get the ball, let's go!
And it's going to be a turnover going towards Jefferson County. So the Wild get it. Penalty is expired, and the Wild come back the other way with it. Lobbed up ahead. It's going to be caught on the run is Alejandra Patterson, and Patterson cut off, finds Reagan Bailey. Is she going to go for a 5th goal? Bailey lost it on the ground, finds it, dumps it off, loose. Fight for it, and ball's still loose. It went right off of Goff. It's in the air. Who's going to get it? Lawson after it. Burdette after it. It's rolling away. Lassen after it. She comes away with it for the Wild. Ball was on the ground forever, but Julia Lassen, I should say, is the one that gets it. Lassen lobs inside, looking for Mayer, and it got away for a second. Jefferson County's going to get it back. Bailey has it. This is who you got to watch. Bailey lobs it over the goal into the end zone. Lassen comes back, tries to get it to Bailey, and a great defensive play there by Kylie Moore to deflect it and steal it away from Lassen. And up ahead comes St. Albans. It's Bailey Schrader. Schrader, look at the speed. Gets poked away from behind. Ball rolling towards the goal. Picked up by St. Albans. Ball in the air.
1 minute.
Miller's after it. 1 minute to go until halftime. Flags in the air. It was Scarcella who had the ball. And Scarcella was in the critical scoring area. And she's going to get 8-meter free position. Scarcella has already scored. She scored her first goal of the season earlier in this quarter. She's got a chance at 8-meter free position to score her second and give St. Albans 10 goals in the first half. Scarcella lobs inside. Miller! What a play! She scores! Scarcella goes to the assist, finds their leading scorer, Kendall Miller, for the goal. Her 4th of the game, and it's 10-4 St. Albans. And this is just Look at the play they draw up right here off the free position. You can see number 3 at the left of your screen. Miller, their leading scorer, wide open. Scarcella just lobs it down to her, perfectly executed.
Her 4th of the game.
And Miller puts it in.
Time of the goal, 11 minutes, 11 seconds.
10-4 St. Albans.
Assist to number 20, Gabriella Scarcella.
How about that? Scarcella got her first goal of the season in this game, gets her first assist of the season in this game, and it's a 6-goal Red Dragon lead. Ball in the air, rolling towards the sideline and out of bounds, and if you'll notice, they're playing the football sidelines, which isn't normal for a lacrosse field. Usually the sidelines extend a little further out, but Laidley Field, not a lot of turf to work with outside of the sideline, so a little bit narrower field. But it makes it easier to see the actual sideline, which is a little bit of a plus, because sometimes those lines can be real faint when they're repainted onto a football field. An early entry is called on Jefferson County, so St. Albans is going to get the ball. 40 seconds to go. Burdette has it, and they've got a chance at another score here. Burdette works on Patterson, spinning right, spinning left, and now backs up. Patterson in her face. Burdette tries to back her down. And the 20 seconds to go until halftime. Burdette works around her. Now behind the goal, Burdette looking, finds, couldn't get it to Lawson, though. That would have been a great opportunity for a score. Jefferson County is going to get it with 10 seconds left. And the ball is going to roll away. And that is going to take us to halftime. What a first half from St. Albans. 10 goals in the first half, and they lead 10-4 over Jefferson County. We've reached halftime from Laidley Field in Charleston. You're watching the WVSLA Girls Lacrosse Division II State Championship here on Video Productions. We'll have our halftime first half recap coming up after this. Welcome back to Laidley Field in Charleston. We have reached halftime where St. Albans, sort of a surprisingly dominating first half over number 1 Jefferson County. The Red Dragons lead 10-4 at the break. We'll run through the goals. St. Albans started off hot as Kendall Miller scored back-to-back goals to put St. Albans up 2-0. Reagan Bailey answered, and Sawyer Burdette made it 3-1 St. Albans. Bailey answered again for Jefferson County to make it 3-2, and then Sophie Lawson right after that made it 4-2 St. Albans, and really since then St. Albans has blown it open. Kendall Miller scored a third goal after that, followed by another one by Lawson. Abby Moss scored, followed by a third goal by Sophie Lawson. Gabriella Scarcella scored her first goal of the season, and then she had an assist and the 10th goal of the game in the first half to Kendall Miller. Jefferson County, only one player has scored a goal in this game. It's Reagan Bailey, and she's scored all 4 for the Wild. And this is not a spot that Jefferson County thought they would be in after the end of the first half, down 6 to number 3 St. Albans, a St. Albans team they've already beaten this year 10-9, and St. Albans has already outscored their performance in April against Jefferson County in the first half with 10 goals, and they've scored 5 in each quarter. And when you're going up against the number 1 team in Division II in the state for the state championship and you're scoring 5 goals per quarter, something is clicking. And we talked about how St. Albans has really improved throughout the season. You can look at their matchups early in the season. The big one, the Musselman game that they played at St. Albans, where Musselman dominated that game 1-12-6, and that's what put Musselman number 2 over St. Albans. But in the playoffs, St. Albans went up to Inwood in the Eastern Panhandle and knocked off the defending state runner-ups, Musselman, 10-9 earlier this week to advance to the state championship. And in the state championship, they're taking on number 1 Jefferson County and score 10 goals in the first half. So we'll step aside again, and when we come back, we'll talk strategy and what each team needs to do in the second half. There's St. Albans trying to hold their lead, for Jefferson County trying to make a wild comeback. You're watching the Wvsla Lacrosse State Championships on Video Productions. It's halftime. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Lately Field here in Charleston. Getting ready for the second half of action. St. Albans leading Jefferson County 10-4 at the break. Jefferson County, it's going to have to come on the draws because they've had success when they've had the ball on offense, and someone else is going to have to step up other than Reagan Bailey. She scored 4 goals, but she's not going to be able to score 7 more to get Jefferson County at least back into the game. And for the Wild on defense, whenever St. Albans has the ball, they've got to be more aggressive. They came with double teams earlier in the game for a possession or two and found success. But St. Albans has had a lot of free roamers towards the goal. And you look at the shots on goal in the first half, St. Albans 17, Jefferson County 7. So the Wild really, they're going to have to get possession. They're going to have to get the shots on goal if they're going to want to have any chance of coming back. And that all starts on the draws that St. Albans has dominated. Take a look at the schedule coming up later today. Division II boys lacrosse starts at 1:30.
Ladies and gentlemen,
about 45 minutes after this game ends, Jefferson County's boys lacrosse team will be playing in that one. They are the number 2 seed. And they will be taking on Buchanan Upshur, who is the number 1 seed.
Jessamine Schmidt from Wheeling Park. For midfield, Michaelan Gass from Jefferson County. Kaylin Reyes from Musselman. Bella Sayre from Wheeling Park.
We reached the end of
Second
halftime,
team
but announcements
on attack
going on right now. We'll continue to preview what's
Albans.
coming up today. So at 1:30, the Division
Abby
II
Moss
Boys
from St.
Lacrosse State
Albans.
Championship again. Number
Emma
2
Ellswick
Jefferson
from
County
Wheeling Park.
taking on number 1
Kenzie Franz from
Buchanan
Jefferson
Upshur.
County.
After that, at 4 o'clock, you got another girls game, Division I. It's number 4
Midfield.
Morgantown against number
MJ
3 George
Oliver-Dye
Washington.
from Wheeling
And then the
Park.
nightcap,
Nevaeh
the
Walls
Division
from
I
Musselman.
Boys Lacrosse
Marley South
State
from
Championship,
Preston.
number 2
Sophie
Lindsley
Lawson from St.
against
Albans.
number 1 Morgantown.
On defense, Penelope Schaefer from Preston. Rochelle Helmus from
St.
Jefferson
Albans
County.
leading 10-4. It's
Peyton
not
Marion from St. Albans.
a lot you have to change. In
Cheyenne
fact, that was
McCoy
a
from
really
Jefferson
good
County.
first half of play. They've done everything well. The only thing is to contain Reagan Bailey better, but like I
In
said,
goal,
she's not going to be able to score
Second
7
team,
goals
Lincoln Wiles from
to
Preston.
get Jefferson County back in this game. Someone else is going to have to step up for Jefferson County, and St. Albans has really
All-state
denied
first
that
team.
of happening in the
On
first
attack,
half. They just
Alejandra
keep up what
Patterson
they're
from
doing.
Jefferson County.
They're 24 minutes
Brooklyn
away
Goodwin
from
from
winning the
Wheeling
state
Park.
championship. So
Reagan
we'll have the
Bailey from
third quarter of
Jefferson
action
County.
coming up
Maya
when we
Blake from
return
John
to
Marshall.
the WVSLA Lacrosse State Championships here on Video
First
Production.
team midfield, Kendall Miller from St. Albans. Mallory
Back at Laidley Field here in Charleston, getting set to start the second half of action. St. Albans spotted a 6-goal lead in the first half. They will try to hang on and try to become state champions. 24 minutes of action in the second half. Jefferson County is going to have to do something drastic to get back in this game. Like I said, it starts right here on the draws. Here we go. Ball in the air, and St. Albans immediately catches it. That's Miller. Miller works it down towards the goal. The shot is jammed away. A great save there made by Abrazino, and the ball is going to be recovered by St. Albans. It's Schrader. Schrader looking for somewhere to go with it. Here comes a cutter towards the goal. It is caught and pulled back out immediately. Moss is the one that has it, works it again down on the end. Here's the lob inside over the head of Burdett. Gets away but covered by Lawson. Defended by Sedlock. Lawson swings it back over to Diana Kay. Remember, Jefferson County started Eliza Quinn in the goal. They switched goalies after the end of the first quarter. Gianna Abrazino in the crease now. Double team coming on Kay. It's kicked back out to Abby Moss. You definitely don't need a sense of urgency right here if you're St. Albans with a 6-goal lead. And they're doing a good job controlling that ball. Here goes Miller. Miller with a shot turned away again. And Jefferson County is going to pick it up this time. Back on the run. Here come the Wild. It is Goff, and Goff throws it ahead. Look out. Selby wasn't looking. Luckily, Reagan Bailey was, and she tracks it down, and Bailey launches it downfield behind the goal. Looking for a pass inside, goes over the head, no good, but back out. Here comes Julia Lassen, and shooting space is going to be called, so that's going to give Julia Lassen 8-meter free position. And a chance for Jefferson County to chip away. Julia Lassen trying to become the first Wild player not named Reagan Bailey to score. Here she goes, Lassen. Flag in the air, it bounces into the goal for the score. It died right on the goal line, but it rolled back in, and Lassen makes it 10-5. This is one you can see it just died right there on the goal line, but it nicked the post on the side, and that gave it the momentum it needed to roll back into the goal. And that's the second strange bounce we've seen that's resulted in a goal. This time it bounces Jefferson County's way. So Lassen gets her first goal of the game on free position, and that's big for Jefferson County. They score quickly into the quarter. They try to chip away at this lead. Here we go, draw rolling around, going to be picked up by Miller. The speed of St. Albans has really hurt Jefferson County as well, because they're running after that ball and getting there so quickly. Lawson splitting the defense. She gets knocked to the ground. Question was she inside the critical scoring area? And she was, so that's going to be free position, but she's down. Take a look at the replay. Well, you can see Lawson working inside, and she got pushed from behind there. She was driving into the critical scoring area. She stands back up now. So she's going to have to come out of the game, which means whoever subs in is going to have to take the 8-meter free position for her. And taking the free position, subbing in for Lawson will be Scarcella. So how about this? Scarcella gets another chance at free position. Remember the last time she had it, they went for the pass to Miller. That's defended now by Jefferson County. We'll see if Scarcella goes herself. Scarcella shoots, and it's going to be saved by Abrazino. Big save there as Jefferson County gets it back. And here come the Wild. Sedlock rifles it downfield. It's caught in a big collision. And going to the ground, that was Catherine Selby. She gets back up, and she's going to get the ball and take off. Full speed ahead. Selby looking for the pass. Swings it over. Inside comes to Franz. She scores! Kenzie Franz, another big goal for Jefferson. The Wild are coming back in this game. Kenzie Franz gets the goal. That's the third Jefferson County player
Jefferson County goal
to score.
Kenzie Franz. The 12th of the season. Time of the goal, 3 minutes
Franz
and 6
gets her
seconds.
12th goal of the season. She averages just over a goal per game, and it's a 4-goal game again. It's becoming a game again. But it's still going to have to shift momentum coming from the draws. And you look at the draw controls, St. Albans 13, Jefferson County 4. And yeah, you can look at the shots 20-9 in favor of St. Albans, but it's the draw controls that St. Albans has dominated, and that's the reason they're up. The Jefferson County coming back into this game. If there could be a shift, specifically right here at midfield, the Wild could come back, potentially take the lead or tie it. They're down 4. 2 quick goals early in the third quarter have put them here. And here's a draw in the air, bouncing around, but going to be controlled by Burdette and St. Albans. Burdette down the far sideline, doubled. Tries to circle back around, and that's the speed of the St. Albans players, but she throws it and it gets away, bouncing towards the sideline. And it was touched by Melee. I tell you, if she didn't touch that, that might have just went out of bounds, but because she did, St. Albans keeps possession. Bringing it in is Schrader. Schrader, double. Backs out. Looks to reset and swatted at. Ball is loose towards the sideline, and it's going to be out of bounds to Jefferson County. A great play by Alejandra Patterson to force the turnover. Patterson in trouble. Stays on her feet and stays out of it. Quick restart. Patterson throws it ahead, gets away from Kenzie Franz, but Franz is going to be able to track that down, and Jefferson County again with the offensive possession. Franz looking, and it's going to be deflected away. Not sure that pass would have been open anyways, a little late. She was looking for Mayer, and the ball headed towards the sideline. It's going to be out of bounds, stays with Jefferson. Franz has to come back to the sideline to put it in play. So here we go. Franz lobs it into the end zone. Caught by Julia Lassen. Lassen looking for the pass. St. Albans not up with pressure, allowing the ball handler to control it and pass it. Got away from Franz there. Tracked down and swung over. Kaylee Goff has it. Now here comes that pressure. Goff looking. Bailey cutting. Didn't get it to her. Now off a screen from Bailey. Goff's going to drive in. Goff's going to look in the critical scoring area, and it's going to be deflected away by Kylie Moore. And the ball rolling back towards the 30-yard line. Who's going to get it? And it's offsides on Jefferson. Just crossing the 30-yard line. They're fighting for the ground ball. Here comes a play from behind. Ball came free, but Moss tracked it down and keeps it with St. Albans. Down the field, Schrader. Schrader lost the ball. It's in the air, now rolling around and turned over. Lassen gets it back for the Wild. Downfield and wide open, caught by Chandler Mayer. Mayer on the run, got to look out from behind. She's going to stop, spin it back around. Mayer's going to take it herself, lobs it towards the goal, but it's just high, missed it. Goes out of the back of the end zone. Jefferson County's the first there, they get it. Maybe not, St. Albans is going to get it. When the ball went out, the goalie was the closest to it, so that's why the Red Dragons get it. Morse is going to launch it down the field, and it's going to be loose and picked up by Coco Lawson on the run. Lawson inside the 20. Spins back out of it. Lawson looking and now pulls it up to reset the offense. Sophie Lawson has it, defended by Patterson, who comes out. Jefferson County can't let St. Albans stand around with it for too long. Got to ramp up the aggression, but the aggression's definitely been turned down for St. Albans. They're trying to hold on to it. And now here comes Patterson after that ball. The head. Controlled by Burdette. Burdette's going to shoot it, and we're going to get shooting space called, so that's going to put Sawyer Burdette on the 8-meter arc for free position. That was a good shot attempt. And now St. Albans looking for their first goal of the second half, trying to get it from Sawyer Burdette. She has one goal already. Jefferson County needs this stop right here. Burdette scores! Sawyer Burdette, she drove that one in far towards the goal and got it past Abrazino, makes it 11-6 St. Albans.
St. Albans goal scored by number 17, Sawyer Burdette, her second of the game, 13th of the season. Time of the goal, 8 minutes even.
Second goal of the game for Sawyer Burdette opens back up a 5-goal lead for the Red Dragons. That's a killer to Jefferson County's momentum. They scored 2 goals early in the quarter to bring it back within 4. Now the pressure's on the Wild again to shift this momentum. And they're minus 10 in the draw controls to St. Albans. They need one here. It's in the air, and coming in is Kendall Miller. And Miller entered early, so an early entry call. Jefferson County is going to get it. And they needed that draw control. Here goes Sedlock. Sedlock trying to drive through the defense. Sedlock with a shot. She scores! A very quick goal for the Wild, and it's back to a 4-goal game. Angela Sedlock, that's her first goal of the game. She goes right behind Burdette. Look at this little hesitation right there.
Jefferson County goal scored by
She slows down her pace to get around the defender Heidi Williams, which created the space for the shot and score.
9 minutes and 19 seconds.
Jefferson County not going away. Remember, this was a 1-goal game in the regular season. The last 2 Division II girls lacrosse state championships past 2 years have been 1-goal games. Jefferson County, you saw they won the draw control the last time, and just took a couple seconds off the clock before scoring. But that draw control win was caused by early entry. Ball in the air. Sedlock jumps after it. It's rolling around, and St. Albans is going to get it. Sophie Lawson. And that is the 15th draw control of the game for St. Albans, plus 10. Miller has it. Miller looks to drive in. Miller has the ball knocked away from her on the ground, and it's going to be scooped up by Jefferson County. Chloe Parker, and a turnover as Parker tries to get it ahead to Lassen. It bounces free, but another Wild player is up there trying to get it. Is Catherine Selby in a collision, and she's not able to get that ground ball, and it results in St. Albans getting it. Sophie Lawson will bring it back for the Red Dragons. Lawson tries to dance past Lassen. Gets it back out to Kendall Miller. Their leading scorer, and St. Albans will slow down the tempo. That's Moss with it, and now a whistle away from the ball. And that was against one of the Jefferson County players defending Miller, which is going to give Kendall Miller free position. I didn't see it. It was away from the ball, but Miller has a chance to open back up a 5-goal lead for the Red Dragons. Their leading scorer, Kendall Miller, drives in. Miller lobs it over the goal. Can't get it to go, but St. Albans gets it out of the back. It's Kay. Kay from the side of the goal finds the angle and scores. Big-time goal right there. You can see Miller drove in. I think her stick got hit as she shot it, so it caused the ball to go over the top of the goal, but Kay finds it, and look at this angle she's able to score from.
St. Albans goal scored by number 7, Diana Kay. Her first of the game.
Diana Kay,
of the season.
Right alongside the goal, found a way to put it in.
Time of the goal, 10 minutes and 10 seconds.
And it's 12-7 St. Albans.
Jefferson County.
And Jefferson County will call their final timeout, trailing by 5 with 1:50 to go in the third quarter. We'll step aside and have the rest of the third quarter action coming up. You're watching the Wvsla Girls Division II Lacrosse State Championship right here on Video Productions. Welcome back to Laidley Field here in Charleston. Jefferson County used their final timeout of the game. They trail St. Albans by 5 with 1:50 to go in the third quarter. The goal there by Diana Kay of the Red Dragons opens up another 5-goal lead for St. Albans. They're trying to hang on to become state champions. Jefferson County, their offense has been efficient in the second half. Whenever they've had the ball, they've had success, and that's really been the story of the whole game. Jefferson County's offense has been very potent, but their opportunities haven't been there, and that's because St. Albans is dominating draw controls 15-5. They got another chance here. When Jefferson County has possession of it and attacks, you look 11 shots and 7 goals off of it. So good shooting percentage, just not a lot of shots. Jefferson County puts Daniela Melee on the draws. They've had Sedlock there all game, and now it's going to work out. Empty stick check called on St. Albans, and Jefferson County gets it. It's Lassen. Lassen lobs it over to Selby. Selby finds Reagan Bailey. She scored 4 goals in the first half. Throws it inside in front of the goal, and a score for Kenzie Franz. And they get it to Reagan Bailey. And there were 2 Jefferson County players there when Bailey launched it inside for the pass. Franz was the one who caught it, and there was no one between her and Carrie Morse. She got it to score. And gets knocked over on the celebration. She got tripped. So Franz has her second goal of the game, and it's 12-8. Back on the draw. Jefferson County won the last one. Not going to win this one as it goes right towards Kendall Miller, and she controls for St. Albans. Miller. Defended by Patterson. And a whistle in the sphere, and
1 minute remaining in the third quarter.
Is going to have it
1 minute
outside of the 12-meter fan. So difference between the 8-meter arc and the 12-meter fan is you don't really have the scoring opportunity you do like from 8 meters. You can still get it there, but it's a lot more difficult. Instead, you're probably going to want to set up an offensive play right here. Maybe look for someone that's unguarded, a breakdown in the defense. Miller drives in. Gets it down to the goal line, controlled by Schrader. Works around the crease to Kay. Kay. That one's going to be tipped by the goalie, Abrazino, and it ends up in the stick of Angela Sedlock of the Wild. Tries to get it over, and the ball is on the ground. Kay is there trying to pick it up, still rolling free, and Sawyer Burdette comes away with it for St. Albans. Here goes the drive. Lawson lobs it inside, and the ball got away. An open opportunity in front of the goal. Comes up empty, but St. Albans gets it. Inside 20 seconds to go, third quarter. It's Moss. And they try to get one more shot off before the end of the quarter. Moss with 5 seconds. Ends up behind the goal with 2 seconds, and that is going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Jefferson County ate into that deficit a little bit. They now trail by 4 after 3 quarters of play. 12 minutes to go, and a champion will be decided. Can St. Albans hang on and win it, or will Jefferson County complete a wild comeback? We'll find out when the fourth quarter comes up after this. You're watching the Wvsla Girls Lacrosse Division II State Championship right here on Video Productions. Welcome back to Lately Field here in Charleston. Fourth quarter of action. 12 minutes away and a state champion will be decided. St. Albans leading Jefferson County 12-8. Red Dragons trying to hang on. Jefferson County trailed by 6 at one point in the game. They've got it down to 4. 4 goals there in the third quarter for the Wild to 2 for St. Albans. Jefferson County change who they have on the draws. They have Daniela Melee there now instead of Sedlock. Ball is in the air, and how about the job Sawyer Burdett has done on the draws all game long, and Kendall Miller as well to make those catches just about every time. Miller swings it over to Moss. Patterson comes out to defend. Moss passes it down low. Controlled now by Schrader. Schrader has the ball poked at by Helmus. Gets it back as she circles around the goal. Schrader looks for the pass. Burdett hit from behind, and she got hit on the shoulder, which is going to result in free position for Sawyer Burdett. This is big right here for St. Albans if they can score first in the fourth quarter to open back up a 5-goal lead. Burdett's going to have it from the 8-meter arc. Burdett. It's going to be knocked away and saved by Abrazino. A big save there for the Jefferson County goalie, Gianna Abrazino, denying Burdett of the goal. And Jefferson County back up the field. It's Sedlock. Sedlock races and gets knocked down to the ground hard. Clock is still running, and time is of the essence for Jefferson County, down this much in the fourth quarter. Here we go, Sedlock tries to get it over. Schrader came in, may have deflected it. Anyway, it gets away, and Coco Lawson gets the ground ball, scoops it up, and takes it back the other way for St. Albans. And a costly turnover there by Jefferson County. Pass tries to get it to Schrader. Look out, that's loose, and another turnover picked up by Goff. And Kaylee Goff racing down the field, lost the ball out of bounds, and another turnover back to St. Albans. Now Jefferson County struggling to get it down the field. St. Albans transition defense, excellent. Ahead it comes to Kendall Miller. This is who you want to have it if you're St. Albans, your leading scorer, your best player. She swings it over to Moss, and here comes the pressure from Lassen. Moss gets it over to Coco Lawson. Back to Moss. Pressure extended out by Lassen as Moss works it around the 12-meter fan and goes behind the goal. Moss looking for that pass as defense coming with big pressure there, trying to get a screen, and got to watch the illegal screen and moving right there, get the defender off. No call as it goes over to Abby Moss. St. Albans killing a lot of time. This is exactly what you want if you're David Randolph. Pass inside, picked off, intercepted by Julia Lassen, and she throws it down the field. It rolls away in the air and controlled, and on the run comes Reagan Bailey. Bailey, she's got to try to take it herself. Hit from behind, lost the ball. Great play by Sophie Lawson, and Lawson gets it back for St. Albans. Bailey never saw her coming. And the Red Dragons back to work. Around the goal goes Bailey Schrader. Schrader lobs it. It's caught by Burdett. Burdett in a CSA shoots wide of the mark out of the back of the end zone. But St. Albans first on the scene was Abby Moss, and it keeps the possession with the Red Dragons. Moss gets it in to Schrader. Schrader dodges, shoots at the goal, hits the side of the net. Jefferson County picks it up. It's Goff. Goff on the run, works past Miller. And Jefferson County's got to go, but it gets away from Lassen and turned back over. Burdett lost her stick, picks that up, and then gets the ground ball. Tries to run around Chloe Parker on the defense. Burdett inside, tried to get it to Schrader. She wasn't ready for it. Ball rolling towards the goal, and it's going to Jefferson County. Push was called on Sophie Lawson. Gets possession back with the Wild. Here comes Jefferson County racing past midfield. Need to go as it gets up ahead to Mayer. Mayer tries to get it to Bailey. Ball is loose. Bailey picks it up. Halfway through the fourth quarter, inside the shot and a score. It's Kenzie Franz, her third goal of the game, and it's back to a 3-goal game with 6:12 to go in the fourth quarter. Back-to-back goals coming from an assist by Reagan Bailey to Kenzie Franz. Jefferson County just not going away.
Jefferson County goal scored by number 4, Kenzie Franz.
It's another hat trick in the game as Franz scores her third.
Time of the goal, 5 minutes and 48 seconds.
The fourth player in this game to record a hat trick, 2 for either team. Midfield we go, and this is where the draws are so important, because St. Albans, if they get this, they're going to kill so much clock, which they've done already in the fourth quarter. Half of it already gone away. Ball is loose. Sedlock after it, trying to get it, but she pushed down Sophie Lawson. That's going to mean St. Albans is going to get it. Up ahead, Moss. Swings it over, back to Lawson. Lawson downfield for Miller. Miller drives in. Miller! Shooting space is going to be called. The goal doesn't count, but Miller's going to have free position, so she's going to get another try at this. The shooting space was called before the shot. And this is the make or break play right here. Gianna Abrazino for Jefferson County in the goal needs the stop. Miller trying to go for a dagger. The leading scorer for St. Albans, Kendall Miller, drives, and it is going to be saved by Abrazino. A big save. Scarcella gets the deflected ball, and it's on the ground. Kay is after it, still rolling around, kicked, and Coco Lawson is after it. She can't pick it up, but she got hit in the mouth. So a hold's going to be called as Diana Kay is going to keep the ball with St. Albans. I tell you, Gianna Abrazino's had 2 great saves on free positions in this quarter, but both times the ball's been bounced away. And St. Albans is going to get possession with the clock winding down. That's still good if you're St. Albans. Lawson gets hit in the back. That's going to be a yellow card on Rochelle Helmus. She's going to have to come out of the game.
Penalty to Jefferson County, number 41, Rochelle Helmus. 2 minutes for dangerous contact. Time of the penalty, 7 minutes and 41 seconds. Helmus, 2 for dangerous contact at 7:41.
Back to action as Sophie Lawson circles behind the goal. Closing in on 4 minutes to go. Moss cuts, doesn't get it. Lawson controlling. Jefferson County not sending pressure. Tell you what, if Jefferson County is going to let St. Albans do this, they'll happily just stand there and take it as a whistle. 3 seconds is called, so St. Albans is just going to get it. The clock's just going to keep rolling.
Pressure, pressure! Get the ball back!
Jefferson County needs to send pressure. They finally do as Lawson works it around the goal. But still, they back off, not coming after her. Lawson has been doing this for over a minute. Now they send pressure, and she gets it over to Miller. Jefferson County needs to force a turnover. They've got to score 3 goals in 3 minutes if they want a chance at this. Miller fakes the pass. Now works inside. Miller! She scores! A dagger from Kendall Miller as she scores her 5th goal of the game to make it 13-9 in favor of St. Albans. A little bit of a screen there from Kay. And Miller uses that speed, rolling to her right. She does it so well and got that one to go.
Time of the goal, 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 2 seconds.
A dagger goal for Kendall Miller as St. Albans leads by 4 with 3 minutes to go. 5 goals on the game for Kendall Miller. It's 42 now on the season for the Red Dragons' leading scorer. Is going to be on the draws now for St. Albans, and give a lot of credit to Sawyer Burdett. He's been on the draws all game long, and you look back at this game, that's the bottom line. That's the big reason St. Albans has had so much success, is the success that Burdett has had all game long on the draws. And St. Albans is +10 on draw controls. Down 4, final 3 minutes. Lassen has it for the Wild. 20 seconds still on the penalty. Helmus in the box for the Wild.
Attack! Attack! Don't have time!
St. Albans, look at this defense. Stayed right in the face every time as the ball went away from Kenzie Franz. It's going to be a turnover, and St. Albans is going to get it. Now these girls starting to feel it. Final 2 minutes, leading by 4 in the state championship. St. Albans team that really wasn't predicted to win a state championship at the start of the playoffs. In a 16 bracket, they got the number 3 seed. So they were set to play, set to host number 6, John Marshall. Remember, John Marshall, defending state champions. They won it last year over Musselman, but lost a lot of seniors on that state championship team. John Marshall didn't play that first round game. So St. Albans won by forfeit, advanced to the semifinals where they had to take on Musselman. Musselman was the team that John Marshall beat last year, and St. Albans upset the Applemen 10-9 to punch their ticket here and then have to take on the top seed, Jefferson County, coming off a 16-0 win over Wheeling Park, a Wild team that was rolling. Franz gets it, spins inside.
One minute remaining in the fourth quarter.
Franz is going to get 8-meter free position, but with 1 minute to go, it's a little, too late. Franz drives in, shoots the shot, high of the mark, no good. Still in play, picked up by Selby. Selby inside, she shoots and puts it in for the score. Catherine Selby gets her first goal of the game. It's 13-10 with 49.7 seconds to go.
Jefferson County goal scored by number 14, Catherine Selby. Her first of the season, her first of the game, 8th of the season. Time of the goal, 11 minutes and 11 seconds.
.7 seconds remaining in the Division II Girls Lacrosse State Championship. St. Albans leading Jefferson County by 3. And this Red Dragons team, just 13 players on the roster. Everyone started, but just one player, Scarcella, the lone player on St. Albans that didn't start, but fittingly she got a goal and an assist in this game. Draw control is loose and fittingly going to be picked up by Sophie Lawson as St. Albans looks to run out the clock, but it's going to be Jefferson ball anyway. Jefferson still fighting towards the end as Lassen has it. 30 seconds to go. Lassen looks inside. Ball gets away. Rolling into the end zone. Picked up by Selby, who just scored the most recent goal. Selby kicks it over. 20 seconds to go. And the Wild down 3. Lob comes out to Sedlock, and she scores. Angela Sedlock with 13 seconds to go scores again for the Wild. That's Jefferson County's 3rd goal of the quarter. Angela Sedlock has her 2nd goal of the game.
Jefferson County goal scored by number 2, Angela Sedlock, 2nd of the game, 6th of the season. Time of the goal, 11 minutes and 47 seconds.
"13 seconds left. Jefferson County fighting to the very end, but down 2 with this little time left. Off on the sideline, head coach of St. Albans can feel it. His team got the 3 seed, was 5-5 coming into this game in a state championship, and St. Albans can paint the town red. A score at the very end doesn't matter. The St. Albans Red Dragons are your Division II state champions. And a score at the very end for Jefferson County, which keeps the streak alive. It's the 3rd straight Division II state championship decided by 1 goal, and St. Albans prevails 13-12. Red Dragons of St. Albans win the Division II state championship 13-12 the final score. Reagan Bailey scored a goal right there at the very end for Jefferson County at the buzzer to make it a 1-goal game, which fittingly makes it 3 consecutive years the Division II Girls Lacrosse Championship has been won by 1 goal. Jefferson County had 4 goals at halftime. They scored 4 in each of the 2 quarters in the second half, but the 10-goal spot that St. Albans put themselves ahead in the first half was enough to hang on to win. They just needed 3 more. And that goal by Kendall Miller late in the 4th quarter to open a 13-9 lead with just a handful of minutes to go proved to be a big difference as Jefferson County scored 3 goals in the final 3 minutes of the game. And that's enough to crown St. Albans state champions. They finish with a record of 6-5. Jefferson County finishes at 7-5. David Randolph over there celebrating with his team. We'll go through the scoring recap real quickly for St. Albans. Started off with Kendall Miller scoring the first 2 goals, followed by Sawyer Burdette, then Sophie Lawson, then Kendall Miller again got a hat trick. Sophie Lawson right after that. Then Abby Moss scored, followed by Lawson, who got her 3rd goal and a hat trick. Gabriella Scarcella got her 1st goal of the season, and Kendall Miller scored her 4th. Then Sawyer Burdette scored her 2nd. Diana Kay scored her 1st, and then the dagger, which was Kendall Miller's goal late in the 4th quarter to give St. Albans a 13-9 lead. And that was enough, and a very important goal as 13 was what they needed to win. Jefferson County, look at their scores. The first 4 were scored by Reagan Bailey, followed by a goal by Julia Lassen, then Kenzie Franz, then Angela Sedlock, then Franz scored the next 2 to give her a hat trick. Catherine Selby scored, followed by Angela Sedlock, and then the one at the very, very end of the game was scored by Reagan Bailey. Look at the stats. St. Albans outshot Jefferson 28-17. Jefferson County's shooting percentage was wild in this one. 17 shots, 12 goals. St. Albans 28 shots, 13 goals. And a good game for Gianna Abrazino in the goal since she came in. Held St. Albans to 9 goals and a couple of big saves to keep Jefferson in it late.
As Jimmy Hill, Wvsla
But it was the draw controls that ultimately was the difference for St. Albans in time of possession. 17-9, St. Albans won the draw control. Jimmy Hill is down at midfield to present the state championship trophy to the St. Albans Red Dragons. We'll step aside and let Jimmy Hill go through his presentation. The Red Dragons, again, congratulations to them. They are the Division II state champions. I'm Eli Brady, signing off for this one. We'll keep it right here for this presentation, but stay tuned. The Division II Boys Lacrosse State Championship coming up next, barring a potential thunderstorm that could delay it a little bit. It's scheduled for 1:30. It's going to be delayed a little bit further than that as it's 1 o'clock now.
Give us 1 moment.
But Jefferson County, their boys team will play Buchanan Upshur next in the Division II Boys Lacrosse State Championship. Come back, we'll have it right here on Video Productions.
Good morning, everybody. Man, we just made it through one of the best starting games I've seen since I've been in the league, and that's all we can get out of the crowd. All right. As Brian said, my name is Jimmy Hill. I'm the president of the Wvsla. Sorry. This is Derek. He is vice president. First off, I want all the players from both teams, please give a round of applause to your parents. Without them, getting you back and forth to practice, games, everything. We appreciate y'all. Y'all help this gang go. Back to the teams. We've had continued growth in both divisions, and to see both these teams up to this level, playing the championship game, this is incredible. Incredible. One of the newer teams, Jefferson County. As she said, 4 years of hard work, 4 years of hard work getting here, and produced a very good team, competitive team, and an excellent championship game. And then next to them, this one guy's been here for quite a few years, but him and his team have been through a lot, a rebuild, and then coming back up to the ranks, and then coming to the championship game when there was a question about their team. So congratulations to St. Albans as well. So with that, for this year's D2 runner-up, we have the Jefferson County Wild. Congratulations, ladies. Hey, no problem. If you're not excited here, there's a problem. And over to the champions for 2026, the St. Albans Red Dragons. Congratulations. And 2026 MVP, number 13, Sophie Lawson. Thank you, ladies, for an excellent game. Thank you again. We're going to have them go to each side to be able to take pictures. So the parents, if you want to sign up over here and be able to take the pictures, and then we'll get started for D2 boys game.